Hello there everybody, welcome back to another Wheelassassin video. This is Starcourt Mall, how to build it in Minecraft, part number 36. Today we are outside because we are going to be starting the roof. We're also going to be coming to the end of our Starcourt series, so it's going to be truly awesome. These are the last couple sections of the mall, which is just insane. That is why we're outside today. I've put aside even 3 sections of, like 3 episodes of roof sections, if that makes sense, just because I feel like this is going to take a long time to get done. So 3 episodes worth of roof, and then we've completed the entire mall. I must say it's been a hell of a journey. It really has been a hell of a journey, but I'm so grateful that you guys have managed to stick along until the very end. It is going to be so cool to have this completed and have our very own Starcourts in our worlds. I actually have 2. I'm a little bit greedy, but yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll give you a quick rundown of today's episode. So, first things first, we're going to be getting this part of the roof done. So you'll notice that we have basically some very weird terrain for the roof. We have the glass sections that obviously you can see through to the food court down there, and obviously different parts of the mall. We have the sign section, which we're going to do on the very final episode, just because that'd be a nice thing to end us off on. We have a very flat section, which we're going to try and work on today. That goes all the way across the cinema screens and the cinema foyer area. We have this raised up part at the back. That is to cover up the cinema sign, because as you know, it sticks up above the walls very, very high. So we're going to be getting that done as well. And then probably episode 2, we're going to be working on this little area down here, and this little sort of strip that goes down here, and then connects up to the sort of cinema area down there. So, much to do. But we are going to take our time with it, make sure we get it all spot on, and call ourselves done with the mall. I'll just quickly show you the inside of this again. So if you guys have never seen the tour before or anything like that, you'll know that Starcourt is going to look something like this when it is completed, which should be pretty cool. We're also going to be able to light up all of the stores on the inside. You know, we missed that out on the first section because we're going to do that in the last section of the mall, where we're going to finally do it today. So all the stores are going to have lights on the top of them. It may be a little bit boring to get this, you know, all done. It's quite repetitive. But like I said, it's going to be 100% worth it, and I hope you guys can stay along for these final 3 parts. Anyway, that's enough yapping on for one day. Let's get doing it, guys. We need to grab ourselves these materials: some smooth quartz block, some sea lanterns, some spruce wood planks, some smooth sandstone, some oak wood planks, some brown concrete, and some yellow concrete. So of course the game player is the first one on our list, so we need to take our block of quartz. We're going to go along its perimeter and across all of these blocks. Basically, like I said, we're trying to make a little sort of rectangle. We can basically take our sea lanterns and fill it in with that. We don't want the stores to look like, you know, that they're that bright that they're going to be lit up by the sun, but we don't want them to be dark either. So we're going to take our time with this, make sure we get it all done nicely. Now, what I will say at the beginning is the game player is the only store that sort of rises up from the baseline of the roof. So all of the rest of these stores are going to have their lights on this layer. Whereas what we've done here is we've just gone a layer above, so we can basically knock out these signs so we don't add lights in the signs, basically. That is part of the store's look, and we want to keep that look throughout the entire build. So just make sure you go a block over for this bit and cut it off before you reach this back section, because we're going to make that flat again. Alright, so like I said about the perimeter, we're basically just going to go a block in from all of these walls that are on the inside of the store, so that basically we're overhanging the front of the store, like that, if you know what I mean, with one section of roof. I'm going to grab my picture real quick so I can see what we need to do for the roof. Super helpful having a phone that just takes some good photos. Okay, it takes photos apparently, but photos are always helpful in Minecraft to refer back to. So now we're going to go around the perimeter of our roof with our sea lanterns, basically make it an odd rectangle like so. Then we just go ahead and fill in the rest of the blocks with our smooth quartz. There we go. Okay, so back here for the sort of meeting area and the back section of the game player, we go ahead and make that perimeter again. Just a block in on all of the 4 sides, like this. Now bear in mind, this little gap here is going to be kept a little gap. It's not going to be used for anything for this roof section. So if you want to just fill that in with some quartz as well whilst you're here, just so it goes up to that layer, and then you can put the sandstone on top when we get to that area. Might make it a little bit easier for yourselves, and also it fills it in so you don't have to keep looking at just an empty space, which is what I like to make sure I don't have any of. Alright, now here what we're going to do is make 4 strips of some sea lanterns. So you literally just go ahead and alternate between your quartz and your sea lanterns until you reach the end where you can't go any further, like so. Perfect. Now over for wicks and sticks, we go ahead and make a sort of, this back room is going to be, I think it's going to have about 4 or 3 rows of 2. Like this. Again, a block away from one another so that they're nice and spaced out. For the back corridor, we go 1, 2, 3, block of quartz, 1, 2, 3, block of quartz. We basically just do that until we reach the end, and we should be left with about 2 sea lanterns for the end, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the rest of wicks and sticks now. So we're trying to do this in a little bit of an orderly fashion, just so we don't miss any of the stores out. When I was building my original Starcourt, I must have missed so many stores out before I got to actually build in the top of the roof, like the icing on the cake that I was on about earlier. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so dark in some of these stores. So I had to go back on the inside and do it all again, which was really sad. But, you know, it is a learning process with building such a large tutorial. So I really appreciate you guys sticking around for this. Honestly, it's insane how you've managed to keep up with my really weird building techniques. Alright, so for wicks and sticks, we go 3. We leave a gap of 2, and then we put 3 again. And we do another strip of planks. Then we go for 2 lots of 3, a 4 cluster of planks, and then 2 lots of 3. Then a line, and then we do 2 rows of 3, spaced out like this. Wonderful. Okay, so now for the toilets here, the ladies' toilets, we go ahead and put a perimeter of quartz. Like this. And then we go ahead and do 2 long strips of sea lanterns to fill in that gap, like so. Now for the back of Zales, we go ahead and go to the vault. We of course make that perimeter again, like I was saying. All of the materials in this build need to be the same as their sort of walls for the store, if that makes sense. Because otherwise the roof will really kind of stand out, and we don't want anyone looking at the ceiling too much in this mall. Kind of there just for covering up, keeping out the rain, more than anything. Let's do a long strip of sea lanterns going along to that side. Then we'll go ahead and fill this in a little bit, up to there. Then we'll go for 1, 2, 3, 4, like so, sea lanterns. And then over here, fill that in because we're not going to use that space. We'll go ahead and put a couple strips of sea lanterns in here, so about 3 lots of 4, like that. Now if you guys do happen to sort of get a little bit carried away with your sea lanterns, maybe place a little bit more than I have. As long as we don't make this look like it is about to explode with, like, you know, rays of light that's going to blind everybody, then it honestly is no problem however you want to do it. You don't have to copy me for this section. That is the cool part. Do your own thing. Let's put 3 at the back here, like that, just so we have a little bit of light back there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And I need to make my perimeter. Now we've made this basically into a square. Now don't worry about the bedrock at the front. That is going to stick through the ceiling, but it's honestly no problem. We can kind of cut it out really if we do another strip just about there. So then we go ahead and put 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, block away, and 1, 2. And we can do that for as many times as we need to until we reach the back, well, the front of the store. I am so sorry this roof is a little bit repetitive in its build so far. It is very important to do this, but I know it's very, very boring. Trying to build this again, it's actually kind of nice I have a plan, because originally I must have spent at least a week on the roof alone, because I was just so, like, frazzled with how to do it. I really didn't know how I was going to do it. I had no ideas in mind. I was looking at the actual mall and I was thinking, how do they make this in real life? Like, the architecture is so beautiful, and trying to do it in Minecraft is, wow, it was really hard, but we managed it in the end, so that's the main thing. Okay, so with the camera repair store next, fill in the little gaps either side of it with your yellow concrete, just so we have a little sort of base now. Everything's going to be filled up nicely. We go on the layer and we just build another rectangle, like this. And then we go ahead and put 3 rows, I think, yep, of sea lanterns in here. Again, nothing too bright, but always good to have a little bit of light in there so you can see what you're buying. Over here for coffin and shoes, we go ahead and put in that just there. Over here there's going to be 2 sea lanterns just there. Yep, and then I'm going to go ahead and put, kind of make my perimeter real quick, just in here. Like this, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, a row, then I'm going to go for like 6 just there, then a row, then another 6, then a row, and then lastly a 6 just there. Cool, so you see what I mean? Space them out as much as you can, make them look sort of organised, kind of organised if you want, just so that, you know, they are looking like they've been installed properly. And over here, we'll just do 2 for this little sort of gents bathroom, like that. For the janitor's closet, we're going to go ahead and make perimeter just here, so we can put a cluster of sea lanterns for 4 like that. For this back electronics room, we're going to go ahead and add in our perimeter again. Now this is a very long rectangle, so you can just go ahead and make that sort of exterior thing that we've been doing for all of them. And then you can just go along for strips of 4 until you reach the other side. Like this, and then fill in the gaps with your sea lanterns, your smooth sandstone even. Gosh, if you did it with sea lanterns, like I said, you would be blind going in here. Blimey, they are very bright. And there we go, that section is completed. So we're basically going to be doing that for the entire way around the mall now. It will be a long section, but as you know, it is going to look cool once it's done, and all the stores are going to have their own little roofs, so that we won't have like a massive tall roof to go in and out of when we're going into these stores. But there we go, lit up already. Alright, let's get moving on to the next section. Alright guys, so for this next section we are going to do the same technique as we were doing over here to flatten over this entire space and light up these stores individually. We have grabbed ourselves some sea lanterns, some brown concrete, some smooth quartz block, some dark oak wood planks, some spruce wood planks, smooth sandstone, white concrete, yellow concrete, and some light blue concrete. We're also going to need some lime green concrete, but we'll grab that in a little while as well. Okay, so first things first, this area over here is nice and blank, so we can take our smooth quartz and just fill this in, just so we have something to work with and something to stand our sandstone on once we get to that section in the roof. Always good to just fill over the empty spaces that we know we're not going to need, because you can just kind of call them done then. Alright, so first things first, let's go to Claire's and build in our roof over here. I don't know why I got brown concrete. There we go, we need the red. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go along here. For the back kind of cupboard, we're going to leave a little 3 block sort of light like that. Sorry about that mistake with the brown and red concrete. I'm red-green colorblind, so literally I see all my reds as like darker than they actually are. So I always end up picking up the brown by accident, which is stupid. And it's very annoying when I'm doing tutorials. But anyway, alright, so we're going to go ahead and make our perimeter again with our red concrete, as we've been doing in the previous things. Like this. I really hope this tutorial will not take too long, because I don't want to keep you guys for ages just doing the same sort of thing over and over. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and put sea lanterns, and we just basically alternate until we reach the front door. This is where you want that awkward lift music to be edited in. Really do wish I got some awkward lift music to make this tutorial with. Well, if we ever do something as big as Starcourt again, I'll have the lift music ready. Or I'll make my own. That'd be pretty cool. Wheelassassin's album of lift music. I'm going to get making that later. Lovely. Alright, so for the stairwell, we're just going to do a perimeter with our quartz. A nice old square just like this. Come on now, come on, there we go. Oh, almost. Okay, and then we go ahead and just go with a couple strips of lights down like this. You could do 3, or you could do a bunched up one in the middle. I'm going to do a bunched up one in the middle like this. There we go, just so it's nice and symmetrical on both sides. For the corridor, we go ahead and outline this again. We try and make sure that the sea lanterns are never touching sort of one space on the roof. And we also try and make a little sort of area so that they're always beside something. You know, besides an actual block, a block away from the wall. If that makes sense. So like that. So we built a square just there because we needed that space. Now for the corridors, they're always a bit tricky. We're just going to go ahead and alternate between sea lanterns and quartz. Like this. All the way down. Until we reach kind of a checkpoint. And the checkpoint here is probably the outside door. Yeah. So we should be able to make it to the end. Yeah, like that. Cool. That is awesome. Once again, fill in the rest of the space just here with your quartz, just so that we have nice area to go from. You can fill over that kind of entrance to the elevator. You could also fill over the elevator if you wanted to, or even just make it higher. I'm not going to make mine any higher than it actually is, but I'm going to fill it over, just so that we know this space is kind of taken up now. We've completed this section. There is going to be a lot of filling in this tutorial, so definitely expect that. And we're just going to leave that one little area for the hatch available to access, like so. Gosh, I am very glad, I'm very glad I'm not teaching you guys how to build anything from like Star Wars just yet. Because can you imagine the amount of filling we'd have to do if we were building a Death Star or something like that? God dang, that would take so long. Oh my gosh. Well, maybe in the future we'll have like a solution for it. I mean, we could just use /fill, but at the end of the day, it's always a challenge to see if you can do it with your own Minecraft hands, you know? And pretty much all of the Starcourt, apart from destroying the dirt, of course, in the lower section, we've done by hand. So that is pretty awesome. That is a hell of an achievement. There we go. That is going to be a block away from the wall this side, but again, like I said, no one really looks at the ceiling, and if it's all the same with sea lanterns and the block of the wall's choice, then it won't matter too much. However you guys do it, as long as you fill it over, it'll be fine. Right, now we've used our red concrete, I'm going to replace this with some planks, so I can go ahead and make my little office area down here, with some lights on it as well. Like this, put them in here like that. Perfect, and then fill in the gaps. Like so. Now over here, we already have built up this section, but we're actually going to go a block in just here. So a block in from the electrical sort of station, and the block in from the perimeter we've made already, because this is actually not exposed on the top. I think the only sea lanterns that are exposed on the top of Starcourt are these ones over here, because we build them up another layer. Just to give the effect of like air conditioning units on top, so we can kind of fill those over later on in the tutorial. So yeah, alright, back over here. So to Regis Hairstylists, we're going to go ahead and make, once again, another perimeter. I said that way too much now. Oh gosh, really don't know how you guys watch my channel and not get annoyed. Seriously. Oh man, right, here we go. Alternating again, making sure nothing's clustered up like this. Boom, and then for the final section, we kind of just do a row of 3, kind of like that, with one on the end, like an L on top. Yeah, like that. Or even we can just put another one just there, just so it's nice and symmetrical. A little B. Cool. Awesome. Now this is hard as well. This section gets a little bit tricky because we're going to need to basically make our sort of bookshelves a little bit sort of, I think we're going to make them lower, just so we can add the lights over the top. Oh no, we're going to make them higher, so we are going to make it up to the point we need it. So let's first of all do the corridor, so we can get this out of the way. We'll start down here for 2, 1, 2, just alternate until we reach the end. One funny thing I got to tell you guys is I filmed this entire section of Starcourt, and then I realised I'd made a mistake with the kind of level I made it out. So I'd ended up making it like 1 block too high, which would have fooled us all at the end. It would have made us like very annoyed, because we would have had to do the roof again. So luckily I'd only filmed this entire section, and then I was like, oh no, I made it way too high. So I went back and just you know, redid it now, so hopefully it'll be fine. But oh gosh, I've made so many mistakes like that, and I've had to go and redo stuff. It's always a bit of a pickle, but you get there in the end. Right, I'm going to go to double check my dimensions for the bookshop's roof, and I'll be right back. Alright, so once again, like we did for Game Player, we're going to go ahead and outline the entire store and build it a block up from what it actually is. But only do this bit of the mall, because otherwise we'll end up going too high for the rest of the tutorial. So let's just do this bit. Outline all of the walls first of all. Don't fill in the sort of window areas, because we're going to put some lights in there. But you can make a perimeter whilst you're doing this, which is always nice. Kind of do two things at once. Right, make sure you go over the bookshelves on the inside as well. Like this, because we're not going to put any lights directly next to the wall like we were talking about earlier. So like that. And then we can go ahead and do this side as well. Up to about there. Then we're going to bring this one along so it kind of cuts that section off just there. Perfect. Now I can start to put the lights in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for this front section. I'm going to put a couple rows of 3 in like that for about 4 times. Then I'm going to fill that in with planks. Then I'm going to go to the window over here and just fill in that entire section with sea lanterns like that. I'm going to only put 1 for these ones. And I'm going to put 2 for these ones over here. Oh, this one's got 3. My mistake. There we go. So it doesn't light it up like fully, but it lights it up enough so that it's not blinding as you're walking past the store. We want it to grab people's attention, not to, you know, cause them some serious eye problems. There we go. Right. And then as for this one, we're going to go ahead and make these lines again. Strip lights always look pretty cool. Make sure you use your spruce wood planks, by the way, not your dark oak ones or your oak, because we're going to make sure this is the same material as the rest of the store is. And now we can use this section and just go along until we reach the other side of the building, and then we can call it done. Now I should have all the materials in my inventory already to get us up to the cinema over on that side, so on the left side instead of the right. So we should be able to get this all done in one take, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Unless something happens and I have to like edit it out or something. Oh gosh. My editing skills are getting better, hopefully. I'm trying to learn this new software at the moment. I've got a video plan for it. Not a Minecraft one, unfortunately, but I've got a video planned where I can kind of take my time with it a little bit and try and get it to a professional looking standard with the editing software. But it's hard work, honest to gosh. Like, really respect people like DanTDM and stuff like that. When they started and they were editing on, you know, their own and stuff like that, and trying to get it look cool with all the little animations, blimey. Utmost respect for people like that, because that is really tricky. I was trying to do it myself and I was like, whoa, this is hard work. Like, I use Share Factory, which is super easy. It is hard a little bit at the beginning to kind of get used to if you're new to filming and editing and stuff like that. But because I've been using it for many years now, it's, you know, pretty easy, pretty much know the ins and outs of it now. But yeah, like, computer editing is hard work. So to anyone who edits on a computer, you're doing a great job, because it is tricky. Definitely is tricky. Right, so for jazzercise, we're going to go ahead and make a perimeter again. Please forgive me for saying that word so many times. You're going to use your white concrete for this, because the majority of the walls are white concrete, and we basically make the majority like that. And then we can go ahead and add in our strip lights. Now these are going to be a little bit different, because we've got like pillars. Oops, that's not white concrete, Wheelassassin. There we go. So here we go. Yeah, because we've got these pillars in the way, they're kind of going to take up some space for lights. They shouldn't really get in the way too much, but it might be a little bit hard to see where you're going to put the lights in. Now I'm going to do another one over here. I'm going to do it up to the end just there, so I can go ahead and cut this section off, this back bit off, so we can go ahead and put its own lights in back here. I'm going to do like a couple rows of 2, like this, about 5 rows of 2 like that. Now this is different to my original. I'm looking at a picture right now, I'm thinking that is not what you've built in the original, but it's going to be easier for us all to do, because I like to make things harder for myself when I'm planning tutorials, and then I come back later and I'm like, how did I do that? How did I do that before? It's so tricky, but yeah, it's all good. So here's what I meant with the pillar. Kind of gets in the way there. But we can just kind of section it out, really. Miss off one sea lantern. It's not going to be the end of the world. It'll be fine. Oh my god, is that a meteorite? No, I'm joking. It'll be fine. Right. And done. So that is going to be super bright. Oh, it's not too bad actually. It's quite dim. That's what we want. Like I said, you don't want to like cluster them all together, but you do want to make it look nice and bright. So that is what we wanted there. So for shapes, we're going to go ahead and add in our quartz perimeter. And then, of course, light this one up as well with some strip lighting. Gosh, this is where I start to get tired in the tutorials. Building the same thing over and over. Oh. Promise it is going to be worth it. I'm just going to keep saying that because I need to tell myself that. Okay, so for the Timeout Arcade, we need to take our yellow concrete. And we're going to go ahead and put in a row just there. And a row in that red. Actually, I'm going to switch this. Oh, no. Okay, I was going to say I'll put red concrete in that gap. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine as yellow. Either way, whatever you want to do, it'll be fine. Okay, so for this one, I'm actually not going to do the perimeter for the walls. I'm just going to literally build across like this. So massive beams that cover up the entire length of the roof. And they're going to be carried across to the other side. So you know we have this little wall in between. We're going to make sure we do the exact same sea lantern pattern on both sides of this wall. Just so that they're nice and symmetrical. And you don't have to carry on doing different things to confuse yourself. Because I'll confuse myself and then I'll be like, oh no, how do I do this? There we go. If I'm talking too much, by the way, guys, please feel free to mute the video. It's no problem. Oh, God. Right, here we go. Alright, guys, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take our light blue concrete. I've replaced my white concrete with some lime, like we were talking about earlier. And we're going to build the corridor that goes to the sort of toilets and stuff. So we need to go ahead and just quickly outline this before we go into more sections, because we need to make sure we keep everything nice and simple. So let's just go ahead and alternate sea lanterns from one side of the wall to the other until we reach the end. Then we fill in the rest of the sections with the same material as we use for the perimeter of it, so the light blue concrete in this case. And now for the roofs of the toilets, we're going to go ahead and use lime. Now you're probably thinking, oh no, Wheel, that's going to be, you know, one block too high. Well, don't worry, guys. We are going to make it a block above, so it's actually in line with the top of like Starcourt's exterior wall. Because if you look over here, you can see that it goes a little bit higher than this side. And what happens there is, I think it's because of the cinema sign, because we have to angle the sort of roof up to get over that sign. We kind of make everything along this side one block higher as well, including that sort of pyramid down there for the little entrance. You can see there, look, behind it's quite big. So that's no problem. We can sort that out later. So outline your toilets again with your green, with your lime even, like this. And then we're going to go ahead and make a tiny little square for all of these. 2 sea lanterns for the little disabled toilet over here. And then we're going to go ahead and, oops, that's yellow, my bad. Make some squares for these toilets and then go ahead and add in their lights as well. Like that. Once again, just strip lights. Super simple to make. Not with yellow concrete, Wheel. Come on, bro. Keep messing that up. Ah. Here we go. So you should be left with about 4 rows. If you don't have 4, like I said, it's not the end of the world, so please don't worry about getting this exact same as mine. As long as you're doing this sort of similar thing, you know, alternating between your sea lanterns and the material, having enough so that you've got it lit up, but, you know, it's not like jam-packed with sea lanterns, then it will all be fine. And there we have it. Alright, so now we're ready to fill over the screens, and then we have completed our first section in getting the roof done. That is a big achievement, by the way. That is awesome. Alright, let's grab some new materials and get back doing it. So then, guys, regarding the cinema's roof, well, kind of semi-roof, we're going to go ahead and take ourselves some blue concrete, some sea lanterns, some dark oak wood planks, some grey concrete, and some smooth sandstone. Now, first things first, we need to go to the ticket offices type area. Basically going to fill over the roof so that they're up by 2 layers, like this. Now we're going to do this for the entire ticket area. You can also fill up, well, actually don't fill that in just yet. Only fill up the ones that correspond to the ticket area, like that. And then fill that over, so you can have yourself a nice square to work with. Well, nice area to work with. Fill in a semi sort of area so you can put some lights in, like that. So a cluster of 4, say, or even just 6, like that. And then put them in like that. Awesome. Okay, so now next we're going to do the same on the opposite side. I know this is a very sort of simple and weird section, but it's going to help us sort of determine where the rest of the roofs are going to go around here. So again, fill those in. Fill those in just so we have a bit of a space to work with. And then you can kind of look at your other one and think, okay, that one goes there, that one goes there, and then we can just build, oops, sorry, 3 sea lanterns along, like that. Then fill in the rest. Cool. Now they might be sort of sticking through the roof like that, or they might even be like this, kind of in the roof like that, where it is up to you guys how you want to do it. You can leave the rest of the roof hollow in here if you want, so it's kind of like that, so they have a bit more sort of breathing room, I guess. But again, it's up to you guys how you want to do it. It's not the end of the world, whichever way you do it, so yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, so for this foyer area, we are going to go ahead and extend our black concrete up just by a block. And do it all the way on all of these doors. Oh, these ones already done. Let's extend it up another block. Like that, so it's above our blue concrete. Like that. Then we fill in the gaps, of course, with our blue concrete. And fill that one in with sandstone. Oops. Here we go. Almost there now. Along this back wall, across the other side like so. Now we can go ahead and fill this over, so it's actually in line with this one. You can fill this entire section over with blue. So we're going to make a perimeter again, so don't fill the entire thing in, but fill it over and around, if that makes sense. So like this. So we basically want to make sure we have a giant sort of rectangle to work with, where we can build our ceiling. Now regarding this sort of foyer area, the roof is a little bit lower, so we'll come back to that in a bit. But for now, let's just go over to this other side. Build this across. And then, you guessed it, strip lights that are going to alternate. Super easy to build, super simple, but definitely help us light up the area a lot quicker than just, you know, trying to make some fancy lighting. So here we go. And there we go. Nice one. Now regarding this like foyer area, I'm going to go in line with the sign just here. I'm going to take my sandstone. I'm going to fill it across just to here. I'm going to fill it in here. I'm going to fill this down with blue concrete. So basically we only have this like little sort of entrance roof to kind of deal with as you come in, because then it makes it look like it's smaller than it actually is, kind of like a TARDIS type cinema. Gives off that illusion that you're walking into quite like a tight space, you know. And we're also going to make it quite dark along here, so we're only going to do kind of like a couple rows like this, so 2 rows of 3 on either side like that. 3 rows of 3 on either side like that. Cool. Then you come in, voila, it opens up, it's quite big, and then yeah, I might just replace that one and replace that one, so it's kind of like a tunnel coming in. Wonderful. That is awesome. Okay, so for the actual screens themselves, well, the corridors first of all, we go ahead and basically do the same sort of thing as we've been doing for all of the different sections. You build yourself a nice sort of perimeter around, and then you go ahead and fill it in, alternating between your dark oak wood planks and your sea lanterns. So, like this. You also use the blue concrete again for the sort of end bit down here, but you go across the doorways so that you can kind of fix this up with your black concrete. There we are. So for this section, go ahead and make a nice square, and then go ahead and put two rows even, 2 blocks away from one another, like that. Now I'm going to do the exact same on the opposite side. So over here, I'm just going to fill this up. Blue concrete goes in here. Black concrete goes across the top like that. Planks always start and they always end. So just remember that. Like that. So they always start and end the sort of hallways here. And the lights go in between. For 4 lots. So here. Once again, I'm going to build my square over. Like that. And then 3 lots. 2 lots. 2 away from one another. So the lights are always going to be sort of facing the direction of the corridor going out. Like that, if that makes sense. Cool. So you should have this weird looking design right now. And let's go ahead and just add in our black concretes down here as well. Boom. Sorted. Okay. So for the screens and the projectors themselves, we literally go a block up. Perimeter all of these so that they look quite large like this. So another block up from the corridor in that lot. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do one of these because they're all the same. So I don't want to kind of keep you busy just seeing this, me doing the same basically all the way through. So that'd be a bit annoying. So the projector screen, these normally have like a strip light that just goes for 4. And then you can fill in the rest with grey concrete. Now that is directly above the projector. So that only leaves you with like 2 blocks for your headroom, if that makes sense. So you're going to bang your head a little bit when you go in and out of there. So that's fine. With regarding the actual cinema screens, they go up to here, above each of the lights that are inside that we built as the screens. And there's going to be a block of sea lanterns like that, above each one. And then every, for 2 blocks away, after each of these, we go ahead and put 2 blocks in. In this case, it's 2 blocks. But on some of the bigger screens, it's a little bit more, because obviously they're a larger gap in between them. So if I show you over here, so up here we go 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do it over here. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then you can see there's that gap in between. So you just go ahead and basically make it up so that you kind of have like a big strip between them, kind of alternating between the different dimensions between them, if that makes sense. Now you only build the strip kind of sea lanterns above the lights in the cinema screens. So yeah, but apart from that, is all the same throughout. And the lobby doesn't really have its own lighting system. It's quite dark, as a cinema screen should be. So just remember that, and I hope you can do it. If you have any questions though, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comments down below. Let's go for it. Well guys, that section alone took a long time, so I hope you guys managed to do it okay. If you do want to come back and just fill in this section here, this level, with grey concrete, just so that you can know that this entire section is for the cinema, then feel free to do that. That is no problem at all. Like I said, this is going to be wasted space, unfortunately, so if you want to just fill it over, just to show that this area is completed, we don't need to come back underneath to do anything to it, then that is cool as well. And if you did find that when you're in the cinema, you look at the screens and you think, oh my gosh, that looks very, very dark, just go ahead and add some more lights. It's no problem at all. If you feel like it's looking a bit too dim, like my one's looking okay here, but if I was thinking, you know, oh my gosh, it's looking too dark, I'll just go ahead and add some more lights in, maybe connect up these ones in the middle, maybe connect them up to the ends. It doesn't matter, however you guys want to do it, as long as you're happy with it. That's the main thing. But yeah, let's go ahead and fill those sections in with our grey concrete, and then we can call it a day. Awesome. Well, that is it for this Wheelassassin video, guys. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I really hope you've had fun building. I know it was a little bit boring to do this today, but it is the start of something great. So don't worry, we're definitely going to be continuing this. Make it look nice and tidy for next episode. Next episode should be dropping the same time as this one does. But if for some reason I do have to leave it a little bit later, I'll drop a link to that in the description for you guys to go check it out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. You have been awesome. Thank you so much for dealing with my, talking conversations constantly, like talking a lot. Chatterbox when I get going, If you did enjoy this one, please be sure to drop a like. That'd be awesome. And if you want to consider subscribing for more of my content, don't worry, we're not going to be doing any more of this crazy building and filling over for a while, so don't worry about that. We're going to be doing some more fun things. Definitely consider subscribing. That'd be amazing. Have a brilliant day, guys. Stay safe, of course, and I'll see you at the next Wheelassassin video coming very, very soon. Goodbye for now.